It's a great day. My name is Jay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission really is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission really is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. In this episode, we have the one and only Theresa. And at the end of the day, she'll be talking about why it's important to take care of your inside first before you worry about the inside of the business. You got to take care of you. You see the title. You'll see that. That's pretty cool. But let's just go ahead and jump into it. What's going on, Theresa? How are you doing? Welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show.
Thank you. It's great to be here. It's great to be on the show. And yeah, I'm honored. I'm honored to be chatting with you today.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. We appreciate it. Thank you to viewers. Thank you for allowing us to stream into your home or wherever you are. We appreciate that. You have a lot of choices and you choose to be with us. So thank you so much. Before we get started and folks find out how famous you are and all the wonderful things you're doing in the world, take a moment and share with the audience why you decided to talk about this topic today of making sure people take care of themselves. Why this topic and why is it so important now versus ever before?
Well, actually, it goes further than just taking care of yourself. So I am a leadership coach and a business coach. I am a business advisor to small businesses, primarily brick and mortar businesses, restaurants and retail stores. But this whole concept of building from the inside out, it's actually a leadership framework that I work with people on, and it has a lot to do with we need to fix what happens on the inside of our business before we can, so that we can really impact what happens outside of our business and society. And what that starts with is us as leaders, as people. It's the whole philosophy that I have that we have to have human first leadership, not title leadership, not power leadership, but really human first leadership. So if we don't repair the culture inside of our business and really focus on our people and our purpose, we can't then impact what happens outside of our business. And like I said, that starts with us as leaders, really knowing who we are, knowing what we care about, but also understanding our people and seeing our people for who they are uniquely and individually. So that's
I
where it
love it.
comes
And,
from.
you mentioned leadership at least 4 or 5 times, or
I
leaders.
know.
And, leaders or leadership, I'll use the word leadership for now. It means different things to different people. I'm curious, what is your view of the world? What's your definition of leadership these days? Because, so many different definitions and people define different ways. But so we all could be on the same page. When you say leaders and leadership, what's your definition?
Yeah, leadership really is anybody who wants to hold a space for others to rise up. It's anybody who wants to really bring forward the greatness in another human. So it can be a leader in a business. It can be like I have these kids outside right now in front of my window in my office. I mean, they could be leaders. They're playing basketball right now, but it's really someone who has the ability to hold space for others so that they can rise to their own unique greatness. A lot of people have defined leaders with titles or roles or status, and it really, because we do have a lot of leaders out there in the world that have all of those things, and they're terrible. So it really comes from who you are from the inside, not from the outside. And that's part of the, so often, even when we're young, we're taught to really build from the outside in, looking at other people, looking at other things. I heard something this past weekend. I was at an event, and they talked about how each of us has our own unique abilities, and from age 0 to 5, we function in those unique abilities. But then from 5 on, we end up stripping away those unique abilities, and it's that whole like looking at what's happening around us, and then we lose who we are. So we need to get back to who we are.
I love it. And ladies and gentlemen, I know you want to, who is this person, right? Like Theresa's talking, like, I don't even know her backstory. I have no idea. I didn't get a chance to read her bio. Some of you read her bio. Some of you have already Googled her. Some of you showed up knowing who she is. Don't worry. In a moment, she'll tell you her backstory. Okay. Hopefully she'll take a few minutes and tell you who she is and how she got to where she is. But I'm going to ask a crazy question. I might be just for Shay Brown right now because we're talking about leaders who are running these companies or in charge of position and responsible for helping other folks get to where they want to get to. Crazy question, but I'm curious, why are leaders struggling these days just to be great leaders? I mean, it seems like they should be the boss and they're supposed to lead other people and they just tell folks what to do. So it's probably just Shay Brown, I'm sure. But question, here it is. What's some of the challenges that leaders have today? Because that's one of the reasons why your company exists and does what it does. Why are they
Sure.
struggling?
So, you said something that leaders just show up and tell people what to do, and that's a misconception because that's not what a leader does. I think leaders are struggling. I mean, first and foremost, I think that there has been so much change and so much adversity that we have faced as a society and as a culture, as a world. And I think that, for especially with leaders and businesses, just trying to keep up with that rate of change, trying to keep up with all of the adversity that has been thrown our way and not really sure how to navigate it. I know burnout, anxiety, depression has been on such a rise, whether it's a leader in a business or just people in general. And I think it's just because we've had so much change. I know for leaders in businesses, it's navigating, all of the AI and technology changes that we've experienced. It's navigating, just that people have changed, employees have changed, and trying to not just attract good people, but retain them. And just knowing how to navigate all of this stuff and how to navigate things that they've never had to deal with before and not really knowing how to do it. And I think that's really where leaders have, had the most challenge. And it's, whether it's, I work a lot, like I said, with restaurants and retail stores, and they've had to navigate tariffs. They've had to navigate, increases in costs and trying to retain really good people. So they've had to increase their wages. They've had to offer benefit packages, and with costs going up and trying to balance the two, it's just been a challenge. But I think we've had so much impact from what's happened in the world, and it's just, you know, a lot of the leaders that I've talked to, it's that burnout. It's that, like, really, who am I as a person, as a leader, and how can I impact change when I'm not really even sure, like, how to get through some of the challenges that we're facing right now. So I think that's where it really stems from.
Says so well, and I think this is a good point to slow down, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll speed back
Yes.
up and find out who is this person talking to us. So, Theresa, if you don't mind, I know you're famous all over the world. You're helping leaders become great leaders. You're working in the restaurant
Me
industry,
and
but you're working
Oprah.
in a lot of different industries. Before we got started, ladies and gentlemen, she was giving me some backstory stuff just on some medical stuff that my mother's going through, which was pretty cool. So she's very well diverse. But take a moment, if you would, and tell them, who are you? That's what they want to know. Who are you? What's the backstory behind Theresa that led her to doing what she's doing now and being so passionate about it? So go ahead and share with the audience. Who are you? What's the backstory?
Well, for starters, when I was 16, my big dream was to be a fly girl on In Living Color. But since I really didn't, I ended up not
I've
doing
never heard
that.
that before.
It's actually in my new book that's coming out. That's like one of the beginning things. But yeah, so I came from corporate America. I worked in the laboratory equipment industry, primarily ran a molecular biology division. Failed every single science class I ever took, but somehow I found myself running this division and just really absorbing anything and everything I could about the science behind what we were doing, and really helping researchers to find cures, helping researchers to do groundbreaking studies and to really help humanity. I ended up my best friend and we were really getting burned out in our jobs because she worked with me in the laboratory equipment company, and we decided we want to do something that we're passionate about. We want to really be able to make a difference in an even bigger way. So we decided to open up our first business, which was a retail store in 2008. And like got in, had a brick and mortar store, and started to see all of these small business owners who were coming from corporate and opening up businesses and like really sinking all of their life savings into it, and then having the businesses really struggle and fail. And they were so heavily in operator mode and couldn't see the vision of the business, and just were so stressed out because they were afraid of closing their doors. So I ended up becoming a business consultant. And so I had we ended up leaving corporate America, I should add. And we had our store. And then I went into business consulting, and I ended up shutting the store down in 2016. My business partner was diagnosed with cancer, and so was my husband at the same time. So I shut the store down and continued with the consulting, and started seeing again, people who were confusing management with leadership, two different things, and really not sure how to take their business to the next level, and just going through this, being the operator in their business and getting involved in absolutely everything, and not really knowing how to build the team, and not really knowing how to get clear on what they really wanted to do with their vision and how they wanted to build. And even more so, I was working with a lot of baby boomers, and it was like, I eventually want to retire, but I don't have a succession plan. So I started getting heavily involved in helping them to really define who they were and step out of being a business owner and step into being a CEO and being a human first leader. I lost my business partner in 2021. She had pancreatic cancer and passed away. And I said, I want to continue working with leaders and making an impact, and really driving home that we need to be human first. We need to take care of our people first. And we need to really understand how to pull that greatness out. That was something that she taught me many, many, many years ago. And as we navigated our way through a very stressful environment when we were in corporate America into the world of entrepreneurship, just I really want to help people find their own unique greatness, because I think, as people, we're flawed. And I think our greatness comes from those flaws. And I think, with our employees, if you're a leader in a business, being able to pull that out, um, you're going to be able to align it with what you really want to do in your business, and it's everybody can thrive from that. So I always tell people, you ask me what I do. I fix businesses. I fix what's inside so we can really impact and change what's outside in society and in a community.
As you were speaking, thanks for sharing that, by the way. I didn't know about the backstory. I like that. As you were talking, there are leaders who are watching right now and may have the question, because this is what you do. You help them fix the inside out. And I'll be a little selfish, and I'll ask if there was 3 steps. And some businesses are doing really, really well. I get that. And some of you are struggling. And so you're all at different places and spaces. But the question I'm going to ask her is maybe to share 3 ideas that she has that you may be able to use in your business as you're listening right now to help you lead from the inside, or take a checkup of what's going on the inside to help you get better. And don't worry, I'm going to ask her later how you can connect with her, and maybe she does stuff that she customizes. I'm not sure if her firm's taking on any clients, but I'm going to ask her about that. But first, the question I have, and all of you leaders, you might want to listen in right now because you have an opportunity. If you could step back, Theresa, and share maybe 3 ideas. She might give a bonus, lady. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. She might give us a bonus. But 3 ideas that you would just share, our thoughts that leader could take right now, and so they can look at their business from another perspective and help them. What would you say to that person that's listening and watching right now?
So the first thing is zoom out and stay future focused, because so often we want to zoom in on everything. We want to zoom in on the problem and assign meaning to what's happening and then blame the economy or blame this or blame that. If we can zoom out and stay future focused and really build out that vision, um, and really say, okay, this is the difference that we're making in our business today, but this is also the difference that I want to make in the future. It really helps to rise above all of the noise and the frustration. So that would be step number one, is to really, again, zoom out and stay future focused. The second one is to really build a bridge the gap between you and your people. And this is the whole build from the inside out. Um, really bridge the gap by really asking yourself the question, what do I want it to be like on the other side of my leadership? What do I want people to feel like? What do I want them to like? What do I want them to learn? What do I want them to gain from it? So it's building a bridge, not a border, like really bridging that gap. So once you have the vision and you can bridge that gap and say, what do I want it to be like on the other side of my leadership? So that when you're working with your people, or even when you're working with your kids or you're a teacher, whatever it is, you can bridge that gap because you're understanding who they are. One of the most powerful three words you can say to somebody is, I see you. I see you for you. So the last piece of this is what I call build a phygital experience on the inside first and then the outside. And what that is it's a blending of the beauty of a live interaction with a human. As I said, as humans, whether you're a leader or you're an employee or you're a student, whatever you are, we all have that unique greatness. We're all flawed, but what connects us together is the fact that we're all human. So really understanding who people are, I see you, and building that, like what I call the phygital experience, blending of a live experience, a live interaction with people with the innovation of technology to enhance that human experience. So those would, and how can you do that? I mean, people think when you talk about experience, they think customer experience only, but your customer experience starts on the inside of your business. That you can build that experience, with students in your classroom, with, your family, your kids. It's not just the business, but when I talk about business, again, people always think customer experience starts on the outside with the customers, and it actually starts on the inside. So when you have those three pieces together, when you get super clear on your vision and you have you understand your people and you're building this team that's cohesive and they understand your vision and they want to co-create it with you, then you can start to build that unique, like I said, it's what I call the spirit of Phygiality, the phygital experience.
Said so well. I like that, boy. Thanks so much for sharing, by the way. And I'm curious, and
Sure.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask her about maybe another setback she's had in a moment. But I'm curious. One of the things you talked about is being able to juggle many different things at the same time. And a number of folks who are listening as a leader, they might have a lot of balls in the air. And we have folks that are tuning in right now. A number of folks, I don't know if I told you this before, a number of our clients are dualpreneurs. They're working full-time jobs and they're a full-time
Mhm.
entrepreneur. I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but they are, by the way. And some of them are saying, Shay, I'm curious, what does she recommend to leaders who have to juggle a lot of balls in the air? Let her know that I'm also married, or I have a wife, or I have a husband. I got to juggle that. Shay, can you also let her know that I have kids, and my kids have a schedule, and I got to juggle that? Shay, let her know I'm a caregiver, and I got to juggle that. Shay, can you tell I'm back in class? I'm learning a whole new skill. I got to juggle that. So the question is, what do you say to leaders who got many balls in the air, but they've got to make sure like you said, they take care of the inside of the business first, which includes them as well. So how do you manage so many different priorities, so many different things without, I don't know, feeling overwhelmed and too stressed out? I know it's a loaded question, probably an unfair question actually, but take your best shot at it. What do you say to the other person that's watching now?
I see you. I
I
hear
love it.
you.
That's good.
So when I first started my first business, I was working full time. And I started my business and trying to balance them at the same time. And eventually I had two businesses and I was working full time, which was a bit crazy. But now I actually, besides being the CEO, being a business advisor in my own business, I also am a partner in another business that I run as well. And so, two other businesses. So, as far as how do you balance everything, I think first of all, it goes back to getting clear on what's important. I think, getting clear on what's priority. Anything that's not priority, anything that's a distraction, because we all have like multiple distractions and things that don't really light us up and bring us joy. Those are the things you need to let go and really focusing on what's important, what is priority in my life. I think having that clear vision of what is it that you want to do, what is it that you want to accomplish. This year I wrote my first book and kind of had
Congratulations.
to put that thank you. I had to put that in with everything else. And then I have a new keynote that goes along with the book. So it's really, again, it's understanding priority and then really, just from a structural standpoint, making sure that every day you're scheduling time to move things forward. But I think all of that aside, I think the thing that really makes a difference is having the right people, whether it's a team, whether it's your community, your circle of people, really having the right people to that you're aligned with that can help you, that will support you, um, that will partner with you, that will co-create with you. I always tell business owners that you need to have someone who's going to co-create your vision. You need to have people who you can collaborate with. So I think people is the really, really important thing. So if you look at it, priority, so having the right priorities, knowing your priorities, and the vision that you want to achieve, having the right people, but also having the right process. And the right process is making sure that you're having a plan for your day. So many people go into their day random and then they can't figure out why they're getting random results. So having a plan for your day, and then also part of that plan is having downtime, making sure that, and from somebody who has gone through burnout and gotten to the other side, someone who has gone through grief and had to keep moving and keep things moving during that time period, like really having that blocks of time where you're still moving things forward, but then you also have those blocks of time where you're having that downtime to take care of yourself, whether it's meditation or prayer, and devotion, or whatever that looks like for you. I mean, sometimes for me it's just sitting with my dogs. So yeah, having that balance and that harmony in your life.
Thanks for sharing, Barry. You're so authentic. I certainly appreciate that. And I know the audience does as well. It's a perfect time for a segment we have here called Today is My January 1st. Now, for those folks who tune in every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you already know what we're about to do. In fact, you can go ahead and say those magical words if you like. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you, by the way. And for all the other folks, the new folks who are joining for the very first time, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur family. Today is our January 1st, is our personal mantra. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is, or how bright and sunny that past is, you know what? The past really no longer equals the future. And so my question for Theresa on the other side is really twofold. Number one, just when you hear those words, today is by January 1st, what do you even hear? And number two, was there ever a setback in your life or business that you had? And if so, how did you bounce back from it?
Wow. So January 1st, so when I hear January 1st, besides the fact that I absolutely hate pork and sauerkraut, and that's what my family always eats, but January 1st for me is like it's renewal. It's that chance to really to start fresh. That's how I look at January 1st. Now, um, on January 1st, I always take that time to walk through, okay, not even my goals, what are my desires? Like, what is it that I really desire, and why? And I really take time. I mean, I have a huge notebook, and it's, I mean, when I say huge, I mean it's like 2 feet by, and I literally write everything out by it on it. Um, and I think the other thing is, this January 1st, I am hoping that, I am well underway with the publishing process for my book. So that's what I would say with January 1st. And a setback. Oh my. Um, I think when my business partner Vanessa died, that was a big setback for me. I think, I I think we navigated so much when we started our business. We we started it during the recession of 2008. People thought we were nuts, and we navigated so much. We had one space, and then we got a new space, and we lost the space, and there was just so many ups and downs, and even how we left corporate. But her death, I would say, was definitely like a huge setback, because I felt like a part of me had died with her. But what through the breaking, it's there's always God is always building, and I think when that happened, a part of me broke open, and it was that part of me, as I said in the beginning of the show, which had it was always there, that desire to really, really make an impact in people's lives and to really help them to uncover their greatness and really, make a change in this world. And I think that dealing with the grief, and it had gotten to the point where I battled, significant anxiety and depression, and really looking at it and saying, who am I? Who am I as a leader? Who am I as a CEO? And who am I as a person? And it took a lot to examine that. And because during that time, I lost the vision that I had for my business, and I had to like reignite it again. And as I said, in the breaking, there is going to be building. And I think that was probably one of the biggest setbacks, that I think I've ever experienced. And even to this day, like, it still ebbs and flows with just, getting through that, and um, kind of coming to that new normal. And I think a lot of leaders go through that, and a lot of times leaders think that they're alone, that they're alone in trying to get through it, get to the other side. Whether it's, and I talk to a lot of CEOs and a lot of leaders in businesses, and they deal with a lot of that anxiety, and that struggle, and that feeling of, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do next. Um, and they feel like they're alone. And I just want to tell you that you're not alone. So, and, that faith and that trust and that honoring the struggle is going to get you to the other side of it for sure.
I love it. You're not alone. She sees you. Love it. As we come down the home stretch, really a two-part question. She can handle a two-part question, ladies and gentlemen. You see, she's just right on. She's like, Shay, I'm with you, Shay. I'm with you, by the way. But part one of the question is, what type of clients does your firm work with these days, if any? Because I'm not sure if you're taking on any additional clients. And number two, how can folks best connect with you? Like, where should they go if they want to stay in this conversation, if they want to maybe meet with someone on your team to see how there might be a fit to customize things for them and their organization or their company? So two questions. Number one, what type of clients are you looking to work with these days? And number two, where can they connect with you? Where can they find you? What should they do next?
Sure, sure, sure. So I work with, small businesses, CEOs and their leadership teams of businesses who are in growth stage. So they've been in business for some time, and they're kind of at place where they've plateaued and they want to grow. So I work heavily with retail. Listen to me, retail stores and restaurants. A lot of restaurateurs who have multiple restaurants, but really, I work with pretty much any type of small business. And as far as, and yes, we do take on clients. We only, it's application based. And I do take a small number of advisory clients every 6 months. So, and as far as how people can find me, you can go to theresacantley.com. You can find me there, or you can also, I hang out on LinkedIn a lot, and you can find me at, my profile is just Theresa Cantley.
Fantastic. Thanks for all that you do. Thanks for making a difference in the world. And thanks for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We appreciate it. Got to have you back again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This has been amazing. And I just am really honored to be on the show.
Thank you. And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, well, we don't have a show. So we appreciate you showing up. We appreciate you sharing this message with other folks and paying it forward, inviting someone else that's looking to connect with other amazing individuals who are doing cool stuff, cool people doing cool stuff, making a big difference in the world. With that being said, I never get tired of reminding you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what's going on in your life right now, whether you're, as Theresa was saying, you're doing very, really well and you're going to that next level, congratulations, or you've been hit with a punch that you never saw coming. The one thing I do believe is that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. My name is Shay Brown. We out. Peace. We'll see y'all all on the other side. Bye-bye.